This is the Amp Hour Podcast, released April 8th, 2018. Episode 387, Microfichery.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
And I remembered this week.
Hey!
Well, I didn't. No, it's not like I didn't remember. I slept in.
You slept in last week. He's well rested, folks. He's back. He's ready to go. How you doing, man?
Awesome.
All right. What's new down? I guess down under. You guys are moving into the fall, the autumn.
Yeah? Autumn, yeah. Fall, rubbish.
Yeah, right.
Autumn, yes. Well into it already.
Nice.
It's April. Jesus.
I know.
This is ridiculous.
Q2.
Yep. Right. He's working on still in business mode, folks.
Yeah, business.
Yeah.
Tonight on the podcast, we'll be discussing business.
And next quarter in the EEV blog.
That's right.
After my quarterly report.
Sign up for the EEV blog quarterly, and you will. If you were going to send out a quarterly, what would you send out, Dave? Maybe that's a good question.
Stats, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm not sure I'd subscribe to that. I would subscribe to the Amp Hour newsletter, which is yet to go out, but that's how people are getting the show these days. The Links newsletter has yet to go out, but
right.
Yeah. So if you
is there much take up on that?
About 800 people.
Okay.
So
that's what a tenth of our audience or something.
Yeah, that sounds about a little bit less than that. Yeah,
less than
5 to 10% of our audience. Yeah.
Because we're still getting about 12,000 views an episode or something. Something over 10,000, aren't we?
10 to 20 actually. Depends on the show.
Right.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So good crowd out there, and I gave away the scope last week. You weren't here for that, but I did announce the scope winner last week. So,
I have to do that today. I've got another. Well, I've got three actually
three.
because the one I gave away on YouTube didn't
take.
They didn't message me, so they obviously I've got no way to contact them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I did notice that too. I need to do that in the future. Is no.
no YouTube comments giveaway. It's just too hard.
Really even an email. Like the fact that I picked someone with an email with their actual name in it, like being able to be like, "Hey, congratulations," name person. So that helps.
So it's easier on Patreon and stuff like that because you have their email address.
Mm-hmm.
And the forum. Yeah. But no, I won't make that mistake again.
Yep.
Actually, there's a secret squirrel YouTubers group, and we've been talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Talking about giveaways and stuff like that. Yeah, everyone's got the same frustration. Yeah, you can't give away something in the comments. It's just because people just don't contact you, and you can't contact. It's just.
I mean, that's their loss. That's their loss.
Yeah.
How are things in the electronics world for you?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Our custom LCDs coming on. We finally got
nice.
drawing back. Finally
Great.
got our drawing, so I'll probably do a video on that today or tomorrow.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So that's of course you got to sign off on it. They want you to sign off on the PDF. So if you don't know, you get a custom LCD made. You send them the specs of what you want. They go blah blah blah. They route it. They do everything. They go, yep, we can make this, and then they give you a detailed PDF data sheet back, which has all your pin mappings and your comment. It says this segment's connected to this pin, so there's a big pin mapping table.
Yeah.
And you've basically got to sign off on that, and it's got the dimension drawings and how it's going to.
So I talked to Andrew, the guest last week, about that too, because we were talking about just like PCB fab, and like these days it's like everybody's kind of used to the the online stuff where it's like you've got a select number of options, but it really is open loop. You could be like, well, I want FR1 and I want it to have this impedance or this dielectric constant, blah 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 blah. You could put in all these different things. Some of them are gonna be like, no, I'm not doing that. But is it the same thing in the LCD world where it's like pretty open loop? Oh
yeah, you specify everything, and they will do your bidding. Or they will attempt to, especially with the routing, because these things, you can't just go this segment in the top left. I want to route this to a pin in the bottom right. It's that screws you.
Well, and that's the thing, but that's what I think about is like these general rules of like most of the time the electronics industry, it feels like excuse me, there are these kind of general rules, but until you're in the thick of it, right? Unless you're a PCB making PCBs regularly or LCDs regularly or whatever regularly, you don't know because you're not doing it every day. But the manufacturer is, so they have these, there's no like there's only de facto standards. There's not usually any standards,
Yes, that's right. And usually they will do whatever you like. But generally, they'll charge you for it, and that's the trap we've tried to impart to people before. Yeah, exactly. They can make your board 13 layers and, and some odd number of layers.
Screens, right?
Yeah. They will do that, but it's.
Yep. Yeah. Here's your itemized list of everything. Yeah. Right. No,
and your good manufacturers will tell you that the others will just do it and simply charge you, and you go, geez, they're expensive. Yeah, it's because you told them to,
Right. If you would have moved that one thing to the left a couple centimeters, you'd be fine, right?
Yep.
I know, and it's too bad there isn't like a place to kind of, I mean, obviously it's going to be different no matter which manufacturer you go to, but it would be nice if there was like a compendium of like, well, here's the things to consider.
I think I've done a video on that kind of sorta. It's probably, but not specifically like here's a checklist of video before you get your board manufactured.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about checklist. Like it's almost just
because sometimes it's designed. You got to design it in from the start. You got to be thinking, okay, I need to route this on a 4-layer board instead of a 6.
Right, exactly. And I think that would be the key thing is if you were going to make a video about it, I'd say it'd be like how to make the cheapest blank possible, right? Because that's really what we care about most of the time. And it's almost then it's like, so then, if you're going to make a series of videos, it'd be like how to make the cheapest blank possible, and then how to make the best blank possible, and then how to make the most balanced blank possible. And it's like all of these knobs and levers that you have to pull to try and make all these things different.
And that's what to make a video about such thing really hard and complicated.
It'd be a lot of videos, right?
Yeah. People would just get overwhelmed with information. It'd be an hour long. Oh, geez, do I have to watch this hour-long video to get a board manufactured? Well, if you want to do it properly,
yeah.
I mean, it's a bit. This is the kind of stuff that an experienced PCB designer would it just does without thinking about it. Really.
I know. I think you're spot on. That is the output of experience, right? Because you've been burned 6 times in a row, and you're like finally
right.
Oh, I guess I won't have complex curves in my board outline unless I really need them. And it's like okay, great. Then you learn that stuff. I was struck. I've been shopping for LEDs lately, and I just want like a chart that maps like cheapest LED for most light output in a certain package, and it's like
well, isn't that the DigiKey parametric search?
Not really though, like because
unless you
because you have to.
You're including the Shenzhen market, are you? Like
that's one thing is that like the DigiKey search will not be the cheapest in the first place, right?
No,
but it's also it's more about like. It's and this is why I think a lot of people kind of standardize on brands that they like. They're like, well, most of the time when I go to manufacturer A, they have a decent selection, and I can kind of play within this constrained space of parts, right? And that works out pretty well. Like I remember Mike has talked about that. I think Mike Harrison, Mike's Electric Stuff. He's got favorite LED manufacturers, and he's got favorite chip makers and drivers and stuff like that.
And once again, that'd come down with the experience of doing 20 different LED projects, right?
Exactly.
That's one of his specialties. So you build up that experience of your favorite LEDs and favorite chips and.
Right, and so then when he ventures out, and that's the other thing too, is he's got that compendium of knowledge in his brain, right? And I think that's the second time I've said compendium. I apologize. He's got that in his head though, and so then when he goes and he ventures out and he goes to search online in Shenzhen market, openairmarket.com, whatever it is, he at least knows what he's looking for too. Like that's almost always the hard part is just knowing which are the things you have to care about and which is what you don't. And
exactly.
I have not figured that out yet.
When it comes to LEDs,
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. Is like if you're flexible on color, right, then you're probably going to be much better off buying white. Like this is the things that I've just been learning in the past couple of days. Is that I'm pretty flexible on color, and so like white might just be the best because there's just the most options out there because that's feeding into the LED lighting market.
Right, and of course, yeah. They're where utmost efficiency per dollar
Yes,
matters.
exactly.
That's practically the only factor. It's like color rendering index. Screw that.
Right, exactly.
You can pay 10 times more if you want that.
Yeah, if you want that, yeah. And so Andy, who was on the show last week, we talked to him a little bit about that too, because he's he works in lighting design. But if you don't care about a bin part, you just want so you're scraping the bottom of the barrel and you're just getting LEDs out of there. Yeah, LEDs shipped in plastic bags in bulk.
Oh dear. Yeah.
It might work. You never know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So LED shopping. I don't know. If you got any sources, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. No, you're not doing it.
Just come on, just talk to Mike.
I know. I did. I tweeted to him. I was like,
right. I saw that.
Yeah, asking about how to get super dense stuff too, and
dense as in the absolute smallest package for the smallest pin prick of light possible. Is that?
That's what he does. I was actually thinking about density of the drivers, right? So thinking about needing to drive each individual column or row, and then having LED drivers there.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. That's a system problem, not an individual LED problem.
Oh, that's a good point. Yep.
Right, that's like PCB routing topology.
Yes,
problem.
Right.
That's a very different thing from look, I want this LED which is 0201 package, and it's got and it'll be a dot, and you can
yeah, not solder it ever.
And do you want them individually addressable? Then it becomes it's it's more than one way to skin that cat.
Yeah. I had another frustrating experience here in the old home lab, which I'm sure that you've experienced as well. I'm searching through, working on this new idea that I'm working on, and I remembered I've used this chip before, and it's got the function that I know that I want, and I go digging through all of my stuff. Literally, I tore my lab apart.
Every project bag and every.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually a dev board, and it was like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
So decent size.
And you couldn't find your dev board. Yeah.
Nope, not even close. I'm pretty sure.
I have that problem
I threw
literally a couple of times a week.
Oh, really?
Where
right.
is something in the lab? I can't find it.
Right. Yeah. Well,
because
your lab is
bigger. Occasionally I do tidy up, and then it just degenerates into chaos again. You know. Because all my I've got things in tubs and they're kind of sort of labelled, but then the tubs just get scattered and put back wherever. It's not, it's just I spent 10 minutes just looking for a tub. That
what if we did
be
right
RFID,
there,
bam.
RFID for labeling projects, and then you could just walk around your lab with a little beeper
until it beeps, until it gets closer. Yeah, right.
Because you want it to be passive, you want it to be cheap, you want to just stick it onto things, and then you just
there's a Kickstarter right there.
There you go. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
labeling projects with RFID.
Yeah, that reminds me. You remember that project? Whatever happened to that component drawer project? You remember the one that had the automated motors that you type in your component, it went into a database, and then it pushed out the drawer.
Oh yeah,
you remember?
I do remember. I don't remember.
I wonder if they actually delivered that. It was a Kickstarter, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, can we try and find that?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know right now, but see if I can find it for later.
Was it a Kickstarter and Indiegogo? I'm just curious.
I do not remember. Yeah, I remember it was very expensive though. It was
it was like $1,000 or something.
Was it a motor? I thought it was just it lit it up. Was that?
Oh, it lit it up, did it? It lit it up. Right, maybe.
That would have been a lot cheaper, at least.
That would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep. But we've got a new idea. We can do it better.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Alas, I did not. I had I actually did reorder the lab as well, and it's all still very computer centric. I think we've talked about that before.
Yes, we have talked. Yeah.
It's tough with the bench.
I know, well, especially in our business, because we've got to capture crap, right? If you've got a real lab, right, then it's often the only thing you need the component for really is is to have your screens, to have a look at your data sheet. So they're obviously above your bench usually, and then you have it nearby to so you can plug in USB projects and stuff. But we've got much more requirements: video cameras, mics, all that. So I've got USB microscope. I've got 2 USB microscopes.
multiple screens to distract ourselves from actually getting work done,
And it's, it's a different requirement. Anyway.
Yeah. Good problem to have.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess we went by, we raced right by April 1st there, buddy. So let's. How did that work out for you? Yeah.
Well, I'd never admit it, but Ben did. So he publicly admitted it. So.
He publicly admitted that it was an April Fool's joke, the thing that was published on April 1st, roughly.
We got 12,000 subscribers for an empty channel.
Hey, nice. Okay.
Zero content, 12,000 subs.
Maybe you should explain what it was for people who've not seen it.
Ben was coming to, how he's, we've talked about it, right? He's finishing up his gig at the Ben Heck Show. He just decided, look, I've been doing this for too long. I want to, a change of pace. And, and he was going to come to Australia to join the EEV blog.
Yeah.
Just to hack my dumpster stuff. And that was the plan. And a lot of people went, this is the best thing ever. And,
not me.
I actually think it'd be really good. But it's not
I think it would be fun for a while, but
it'd be fun for a while. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right. Yeah. I'm surprised you're still digging through all the crap in your, in the dumpster room. But
I just did a repair of
I saw.
One.
Yeah.
I just released it like 5 minutes before we started the show.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You're following.
I am.
Or do you actually get email notified?
I do. That's the only way that I can really keep up with.
Did you
YouTube.
know? I was going to actually do a second channel video rant on this. Did you know that someone from YouTube finally admitted that even if you click that bell icon to get notified, the algorithm doesn't notify everyone?
I believe that. Yep.
They actually admitted it during, like they weren't. I'm sure they weren't supposed to, but it was during like a live Q&A show with one of their engineers, and one of their engineers just went, "Oh yeah, there's this algorithm that that determines whether or not we're going to email you." Yeah, like holy shit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Anyway.
I just like it for, that's the only way I can really keep up with, I don't know, like the email is still my, my center of things, so.
It is here. I've got 3 videos in my email at the moment that, this person's released a video that I've subscribed to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can tell from the title, like it's right there. Like I don't even have to open the email. It's just in my list. There it is. Such and such has released a video. There's the title, but I can decide whether or not to delete that or go in and watch it.
Yeah.
And it's just, very convenient.
Yep.
So, yeah. And if I subscribe to someone, damn it, I want to be notified. It's like, why would you not?
So, what else is going on? Changing the subject.
What's wrong with YouTube? We don't want to get into that, do we? Yeah. Voyager 1 fired up its thrusters for the first time in 30 years. That was exciting.
I thought you'd like that. Tell me about that, because I thought it might have been firing its thrusters. I didn't actually, I'm not a space person, so.
Right, you're not a space person. Well, I haven't looked at it in depth, but they haven't used them since 1980. Mm-hmm. These little thrusters that can do minor course corrections and stuff like that. And they're going to get some more use out. They decided, they need to fire them for to help align it and do some stuff, and they went, we can get another 5 years use out of this baby now. And they turned on the thrusters and crossed their fingers and they fired up.
Nice.
It's great.
Okay.
It's brilliant.
That is some, they don't make them like they used to, huh?
No, right.
I mean, that's a long distance throw for that signal too, huh?
Yeah, well, we've been there.
Right, exactly.
It's actually not that hard.
Yeah.
It's it's like
Wait, what's not that hard?
What, to actually talk to Voyager?
Well, we saw it being done, but we also there was a really big telescope, a really big satellite dish involved.
But the fact is that like the signal from Voyager was bigger than some of the other probes that they've got out there. Than many of the other probes are actually technically harder to communicate with, because Voyager's got a big ass gain dish. Right? It's got a massive dish. So even though it's further away than any other probe, they actually get a higher level signal than some of the other probes that are just around the nearby planets.
I actually did not. I did not remember that. So okay, that's good.
See, you weren't paying attention when we were there.
Not apparently. Whatever. You had to like edit the video with Richard, the guy that you were interviewing there, and I, I was just standing there.
Yeah, right.
We will relink that video with Richard. That is good stuff. I'll have to rewatch that.
It's great. It's
that guy,
top quality
stuff. That guy
stuff.
was awesome.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, Richard does. Yeah. Follow him on Twitter, because he's got his own personal channel, which is NASCOM1. Mm-hmm. He's actually at NASCOM1. Mm-hmm. And it's a kind of his personal account, but he tweets only, what's happening
about
at
work.
The facility. And, about work and what probes they're connected to and the signal levels. And he posts, technical screenshots of the comms software and stuff. It's great. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So, what is this thing about the history of Tektronix? You posted this. I don't actually know what this is.
Oh yes, Steve Liebson, who we've had on the.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's the link? Where's the link? Where is the link?
It's on Reddit somewhere. I will link the show. So we've had Steve on. So that was back when he was at Xilinx. Is he still at Xilinx? No, maybe.
No.
He was at Xilinx when he talked to us.
Am I allowed
right?
to say that?
I don't know.
But no, he's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like he's not on LinkedIn. Yeah, we could see that.
Yeah, he's doing his posts on LinkedIn, so you can follow his. Anyway, there's the Tech have the Microfiche
Oh,
collection.
Really?
You're probably too young to remember.
Oh, I know what it is, but I never actually did it.
You never actually went to the library and looked and got a microfiche out and looked under on the microfiche machine. Jeez.
Yeah.
You haven't lived.
Really? I mean,
right.
What about it?
It was so exciting. Yeah, things were kept because, storage was a problem back then. Like digitizing and mass storage wasn't a thing in the 70s and 80s. Computers existed, but they couldn't store jack, right? So they could store like a reference. So they could tell you, if you wanted a old newspaper or something like that. Right? Instead of getting the actual newspaper, they would photograph them and put them on these microfiches, which are tiny little microfilms, just like in the spy movies, these tiny little, right. like an inch by an inch or something.
Right.
So you couldn't read them without the use of, a big magnifier machine.
Right.
So,
and then on that small piece, it would have like a full newspaper page, right?
It would have the full page of the newspaper because the
resolution was killer because it was
killer, because it's analog, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It was absolutely killer. There is a way, by the way, to map the effective resolution of film in terms of number of pixels in quote marks. There is a
because of like grain size or something.
There's a grain size and other analogy type factors. Yeah, it's not just grain.
Yeah, I mean, at a
size,
certain point you get down to molecules and atoms and stuff, right?
Right.
Yep. Right.
Anyway, and you would, get the microfiche, and then they would not just have individual ones, but then they'd put multiple ones. I can't remember, like it was 10 by 20 or something on like a card, and then these cards would be. You remember the old card flip boxes at the libraries that would have
like
all the information.
Right,
the card catalog, yeah. So they would have the microfiche catalog, and so the computer often would have the index, so you could type. Because computers are good at database.
This is where the Dewey Decimal System comes from, right? No?
It does come from the library,
but this is where they list. That's where they're listed
on
the card catalog.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if the microfiche ones use the Dewey Decimal System as well. Maybe, but I'm not sure. Or whether or not that was limited to the physical materials rather than the microfiches. Anyway, they tell you, and they give you a reference, and you go to the microfiche catalog and you'd take out the actual microfiche and you'd stick it under the machine and you'd move it around just like a microscope. You'd move the stage around.
Yeah.
Right, which is what it's called, the stage under this thing. And it shines a light up and just magnify like a big hood. So you'd have you see all these people sitting there with their heads inside these big hoods. I feel
like we're gonna have to call this episode like "Old Guy Says Old Things." I hate
to. Can we include like a photo of someone with their head inside a microfiche?
Head inside a microfiche. Okay.
Fiche reader box.
A microfiche.
Head in. He's googling head in microfiche and yeah. How do you spell microfiche? Fiche?
CHE, I think. Yeah.
Oh, geez, I can spell. I must not be an engineer anymore.
Anyways, back to the story at hand. So there was a bunch of microfiche for Tektronix, And Steve's doing this because I didn't actually remember seeing this article, but HP, a bunch of the HP buildings burned down.
Oh, come on. We talked about that on the show.
Did we really? Whoops.
Yes. That was huge news at the time. All of HP's, all their original stuff, which they hadn't
digitized, right?
They hadn't digitized and hadn't put in fireproof safes.
I have a bad memory.
There was these huge bushfires. Terrible. Huge.
Yeah.
It's even worse than mine. Jeez, that's saying a lot.
Oh, that was part of the. that was when the fire.
The HP bushfire.
Right, bushfire. The wildfires up in Santa Rosa.
Wildfires. They're not called bushfires in Yankee Land.
Yep.
Right.
I didn't even know what you're talking about, Dave. Jeez.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So this is to basically protect this same thing, huh? In the same manner.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
They've started a crowdfunding project to raise $6,000. The Vintage Tech Museum, not Tektronix. Why Tektronix just don't pony up the $6,000? I mean, geez, come on.
It does make
seriously.
Does
come
make
on,
you wonder.
They give away scopes. You know, I mean, that's but they can't donate $6,000.
I mean, and that's just like free content too. You know, you put that shit on the internet.
Of course, I know, and like,
we'll talk about it. I mean, that's something, right? It's not
exactly
not worth much.
It's just, anyway. Yeah. Unbelievable. Anyway, we'll link it in. So if you want to donate to the Save Tektronix, they're up to almost $4,000 of the $6,000 goal.
Yeah.
So
and if you're at Tektronix, tell someone. If you see something, say something. Like saving history.
Do they have a chief archivist like HP did? HP actually had a chief archivist. Yeah, they had several. I think maybe several people employed in the archive division, and they still lost it. You know, like I wonder if they're still employed there.
That's a good question.
Anyway, there's 3 million pages of microfiche that includes service manuals, operator manuals, training manuals, marketing and sales brochures, which are great. I love looking through the old.
I mean, I like the old ads
sales brochures
for sure.
I love them. They're great.
You posted one about what is this?
Did I?
The Trash 80 Trash Talk.
Yes, right. Yes. There's a podcast dedicated.
Really?
There's a podcast dedicated to the Trash 80.
Jeez.
Niche of the niche podcast.
Just saying, people think that we're niche, huh?
Yeah, right.
All right. I bet some people here will like it, though, if they haven't heard about it. So.
Oh, of course. Yeah. If you're into vintage computers, I'm sure you'll love the Trash 80. It's not called the Trash 80, is it? I'll have to.
It's TRS 80 Trash Talk, it's called.
Yeah. Yes, Trash Talk. So they do play up on the joke of the Trash 80. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? I love the sales and like the marketing brochures. To this day, I regret throwing out. Not only did I throw out every Tandy flyer / Radio Shack, I used to collect them. Right,
really?
They came. I don't know if you guys did. You get these in the States where Radio Shack would actually release these. Were they monthly or twice a month or something? These monthly specials, the flyers.
Are you talking about like the thing that's like taped over the edge and like they're just like the really super thin paper, like phone book paper?
No, there was regular paper, but they were all color printed, and they were often like insert, like you can get them in the store, like you'd pick one up, like outside the front of the store, or they'd include it in one of the.
So was it like newsprint though,
or
was it like a one pager with like a little heavier stock?
No. It was like a 10-page brochure of all the specials for the month.
Sure, yeah.
It was
that's that kind of, they still have that kind of stuff. Like I know Micro Center, which has kind of taken over the hobby space at least around here. They do that too for computers and stuff.
So do JCar here. You know, if you walk into the JCar store, out the front they have a stand with the a 5-page catalog of the monthly specials.
So you would save those things? That sounds kind of
I would collect them. Well, come on, like I was like 10 or whatever, come on.
So they're pretty old.
This was my whole life, right? Right.
So why'd you get rid of them?
I was 8. I was moving. I needed the space, and I thought, why would I ever why did I collect these and like stacks and stacks of them, to hundreds and hundreds of these things. Yeah. Like I spent 10 years collecting these things, right? And then I just dumped them, and then I had every every Dick Smith and Tandy and JCar and Altronics catalog, right? And like their yearly catalogs, the yearly one, like the huge books, the yearly ones, and I'd collect those, and I'd collect the the Farnell catalogs and the RS Component catalogs, and this was back. This was back when I had literally one whole room, one whole wall of my lab was just bookshelves because there were no PDFs back then.
Right,
so
exactly.
I had hundreds and hundreds of data books.
It's been usurped by
Yeah.
data.
And I've got old photos somewhere of my old data books. Some of my old shelving, and it's and it just got. And I got rid of all those, and I am so sad that I did that. Anyway, but what the hell am I going to do? Actually scan them in,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no real reason to, at least with historical stuff, there's actual reasons to do that, whereas here, not so much.
See, I'd love that. I'd love, especially like the old sales brochures, I'd love to be able to go through and, because I do videos, I do videos on all sorts of retro gear, and to have access to those kind of stuff, at the moment I'm kind of limited to Google image search,
Yeah.
Although I know there are lots of online magazines and stuff, all the magazines from the 70s and 80s, they're pretty much all online now, so you can go flick through indivical
archive.org has a bunch of that stuff,
and
you can see some of that.
There's other websites we've pointed to.
Yeah, and your library a lot of times, they actually bound those up and they'll have them at the library. So
right.
At least my central library does down here.
And I think it's great. Anyway, there you go. We have to do that. Have to save the tech, scan in all that tech stuff.
Yes,
that's awesome. Otherwise, they're just when you need some obscure service manual from the 1970s. It's almost certainly in here. This is text comprehensive, thing, and you've got to. It's all or nothing. You've got to do the whole blinking lot, or zippity doodah.
Where did they get the 6,000 from? It seems like that would be a lot more expensive to qualify that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've got some automated rig or something.
Hopefully.
Oh no, they're buying the microfiche scanner. So the microfiche scanner costs $6,000.
Oh,
right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and it's probably some automated. You whack it in, and then as I said, there's multiple ones on the one microfiche, right? That's why it's such an expensive machine, because it might have 10 by 20 full pages in this tiny little size, and it's it's like you can't just move them around by hand. It's probably got like a motorized stage or something like that. It'd be nice if they included the link to the machine, then we could have a look, because we're nerds, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's what we do. Right?
I have also noticed this. Yes.
I am as interested in the machine that scans these as the actual microfiches themselves. Anyway, it's a Ucarin. I don't know why they just didn't use one of the more popular known crowdfunding things, but it's called Ucarin.
Oh, that's the name of the that's the crowdfunding.
Name of the website. It's raising the money. Anyway. Cool bananas. Okay. Yes. Excellent work. Excellent work. Vintage Tech Museum.
Let's move to the present. How about that? And maybe even the future a little bit.
Oh, really? Do we have to? It's so depressing.
Yes, it is. Maybe you don't care about this one, but Apple is moving away from Intel and moving towards the prophecy that was put in place by Chris.
Really?
Remember Intel moving to a foundry and a foundry model?
Right. Okay.
That's my
well, they can do
prophecy.
that. They've got like $500 billion in cash or something.
Who does?
Apple.
Oh, I said Intel moving to a foundry model.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Intel. Yeah. Right.
I just think that as they keep losing people that are moving away from, unless Intel starts making ARM chips, but I don't think they will. It's just in terms of the actual laptop market, and then obviously they already lost the iPhone market. It's pretty crazy. So, we'll see what happens there. I mean, I don't really care about the financials, but the actual pretty much at this point, the reason people should care that are listening is that actually could be a benefit is if the Intel switches to a foundry model, because right now the only other foundries, not the only foundries, but the big one is TSMC. And if Intel opened up and they're like, hey, you can get some of our sweet foundry action,
right?
Then lead times could go down and stuff like that, since everybody is what do they call that, fabless. So all of the the individual companies are fabless. You need more foundries to actually enable fabless stuff. We'll see. I don't know.
Anyway, Intel sold Wind River. I didn't even know Wind River was part of
I didn't
Intel,
either.
but meh, yawn.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a. I think that was a. They moved into embedded and they moved back out again, right? So I'm sure they'll try that again. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it'll come around because these executives need to be seen to be doing stuff.
Got to do something, right?
Whether or not it's you can't just sit there and go, hey, I'm an executive. You got to be. You've got to make some decisions to do stuff, and if you're not doing stuff, then obviously people think
you got to merge things, you got to acquire things, you got to merge them and merge in the acquired things,
demerge them, and
exactly. Divesting, investing,
divest. That's it. Thank you.
Right.
And in other weekly news, got 5 thumbs up. Foxconn buys Belkin.
Yeah.
Who make like less shittier computer peripherals.
I don't know about well, I make no judgment on that.
They make they make okay. Like if you buy a Belkin, it's probably going to work and it's going to be reasonable quality.
I don't actually know that, but okay.
866 million.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, but that's interesting. Like, hang on, going back to the Apple thing for a minute.
Yeah.
Apple are going to they're using Intel chips at the moment, right?
Yeah, mostly in their laptops. So that's the main thing, right?
Right.
Versus like iPhones and iPads are already, their own A9, A10, whatever, right?
Army thing, right? But their laptops, right? Their OS is built around the fact that it runs on an Intel architecture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that they're going to they have to be making Intel clones, right?
You mean like x86 based chipsets?
They have to. It has to be an x86 clone, right? Am I wrong?
I think in theory you could retarget it towards a different, architecture, right? You could could target an ARM architecture on the lower end, right?
But can they just spin an OS like that easily?
Let me reach deep into my programming knowledge here.
We're just going to use this new 68,000 processor-based modern equivalent. We're going to target the 68,000 processor.
I think it would just be a new compiler. Now, that's not obviously very well thought out.
Anyway. Yeah, but it's an operating system. It doesn't get any bigger.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying that it's still getting compiled down to something, right? So there's still
of course, yeah.
I'm trying to think of
in theory, if you write your software correct and as high level, it shouldn't matter which thing you target, but because an operating system has to take care of all the hardware variants, it's like but Apple are better in that respect that they don't have to worry about clones and all that sort of crap. So their hardware is pretty,
I'm just thinking of other computer platforms, like Debian it can run on x86, it can run on AMD stuff, right? Yeah. But then it also runs on things like ARM processors, right? Because that's what runs on a BeagleBone, that runs what's run on a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
So that's just targeting different platforms as far as I understand it, right? So that's just different compilers. I'm trying to think back to the episodes where people have educated me on this stuff, and I'm still real shaky on it. But I think that's just at the compiler level. And actually, there's been really good, a lot of actually really helpful comments for people in the past couple weeks and months. Like when Scott was on, beep, boop, beep. Editor's note, that was Scott Shawcroft in episode 383. Beep, boop, boop. Me and him were talking about compilers and debuggers and all that stuff, and there was a lot of really good comments about interpreted languages versus compiled languages and stuff like that too. So, I'm not going to try and attempt to explain it to you because but
talking at your ass.
Right, exactly. But as far as I understand it, I would think that an OS, that's something that's closer to the hardware, right? It needs to be compiled so it runs quickly, and then stuff also is running interpreted on top of that, right? That sound right?
I'm just not gonna.
I'm not even asking you. I'm asking the audience. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'll put some links to the good explanations from the.
Should we talk about Tesla going down the gurgler?
We could. What do you know about it? Starting to
go down the gurgler.
I know.
What do I know is that
my car has not been recalled because I can never.
Well, yes, they did actually recall the Teslas.
Right. But not mine. But not mine.
Right. Yep. And But that's only part of their problem. Their problem is that they're just not making money. They are not a profitable company. It looks like they're going to have to get a $2 billion investment from someone just to stay afloat, and actually deliver the Model 3s and that they're trying to do. It's like, this company is, as sexy as the company is, as good as their products are, if you're not making money, you don't last. Like, there is no free pass for that.
No.
Yeah.
Are you quoting a story here, or is this just from
sorry.
news?
Yeah, it's not on the list. It's just in general news and stuff. It's been going on for like the last 6 months. Like Moody's, I think Moody's rating agency downrated Tesla stock to it's just
the stock. Okay.
Crap. Like it's their ratings of it. It's just don't buy it. It's like sell now. Kind of thing.
All
right.
If you were invested in Tesla stock, you were already okay with like a lot of speculation, right? So.
True, but like it's been a long time now, and it's finally come to the head where this company has to make money or they're going to go under. Seriously, in 2 or 3 years' time, Tesla could literally be out of business.
It wouldn't be unheard of. I mean.
Oh, no,
they probably would get bought by a car company first.
It's not like someone to buy them up, of course, right?
So where did that come from? I was thinking like there was something with the recall was based on self-driving, but that was Uber. You made a video about the Uber thing, right?
The Uber thing, which we should no doubt talk about, I guess.
I really didn't follow it, so
right.
Yeah. But that's not what the Tesla recall is, right?
No. The Tesla recall is just for a rusty bolt or something, in high salt environments or something. A bolt
take that,
can rust,
Californians.
Right, hipsters.
You want to play? You got to play in the Midwest where we salt everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
So anyway, it's a voluntary recall.
Yeah, I've been looking at the car stuff too. Like I'm working on I'm helping with a project, and like every time I think of it, like the load dumps and all of that stuff in the car electronics, it never ceases to amaze me, the stuff that cars have to deal with.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing.
It's some serious engineering. So.
The Tesla Model 3 looks to be like a really killer car. Like, it looks to be really nice, but if they can't make them, like they're having problems just the capacity of making these things. Yeah.
Well. This is their shift into consumer more than like high end consumer, right? Which is a lot of people talk about, like, at least with it started with the Roadster, then it went to Model S, and now it's going to the Model 3 or Model X in between, whatever, right?
Yep.
Just like so much infrastructure to get from this one point to another. Like how long did it take the other car companies? Many years.
Decades. Yeah, 50 years.
Tons of investment.
Optimize their processes.
Yeah.
So, but the bottom line is they can churn out cars quicker and more cars quicker and cheaper than Tesla can, and that's going to be the bottom line of whether or not they stay afloat.
Right.
Anyway. Self-driving car technology.
Yeah.
Should we talk about it? Because we've talked about it quite a few times on here, and I've always said that it's not going to happen anytime soon. Everyone is wrong.
That is true. You have said that.
I've been consistent on that.
I thought that was just general pessimism, but yeah.
No. Yeah, no, it's not. It's based on my
well
engineering.
Into your, yes. Yeah. Okay.
I don't just not just pessimists. There's
the
reasons why.
The LiDAR failed though in this case.
It looks like the LiDAR failed.
Okay.
It had a LiDAR, which is a laser ranging sensor thing which maps in front of the car.
Yeah.
And it had a radar as well as the optical cameras. And all three failed to pick up a person walking their bicycle in all practically ideal practical test conditions.
Right. It wasn't snowing. It wasn't raining because it's Arizona. Right?
And the road wasn't curving. There wasn't other traffic. There wasn't other objects swerving in front to distract the algorithms.
Right.
It was open road at night. They were the only two objects on the road was the car and the pedestrian walking their bike across the multi-lane highway.
I think this is why I avoided it too, because they showed the footage, didn't they?
Oh, they showed the footage. Yeah, they actually released the footage.
That's messed up. That's real messed up.
And it just failed to detect them. And they've shut down. They're now banned. Were banned from the state, and that was a big thing because was it? Texas? Wasn't no.
Arizona.
Arizona, thank you. Arizona said, hey, step right into our state. You can test drive your prototype cars here, and there'll be no red tape. Don't worry about that.
They're very against regulations, I suppose.
Okay, right. Okay,
yes.
Right.
Don't want to go into political stuff too much. But they also have huge ass roads. Like, so if you ever, I have this weird tick where
I've been to Arizona.
Oh, you have? Okay, so you've been to like Phoenix and stuff like that.
I drove through.
Okay. I get really creeped out by really well planned, like really well urban planned cities. And
why do you get creeped out? It just feels too artificial. Or?
It always feels like it's the beginning of a zombie movie, right? There's just it's always barren. There's like downtown areas are always kind of like just empty and quiet, and like some people really like that. For me, it's just this weird tick. I don't know what it is, and really don't like it.
For me, it's the Truman Show suburbs. These new suburbs that spring up, and you swear they're straight out of the Truman Show.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I'm always saying that. Oh, geez, this is very Truman Show. Yep. Driving it like I know. I know what you're talking about. That
happens probably a lot in Australia too, right? Where the property values require perfection.
Yes, right.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Okay, so anyways, you're saying that the conditions were good. The state allowed it in. They wanted to encourage.
Just good. They were ideal. Yeah.
Got it.
The state wanted to encourage investment in there, and so that's why Uber moved there.
Got it.
And to actually test what are basically prototype cars, and they just let them loose on the roads.
That's messed up.
And also Uber, I linked in to my video that I did 2 videos on this. That Uber, their autonomous car division, was not going well. Like a year ago, 40 engineers left or something. It was they were having troubles. This was a year ago.
Got it.
So I'm not sure if that, if that actually contributed to the incident or not. I wouldn't like to speculate, but they're having problems.
Right.
With the top management of the autonomous car division
of
Uber. Because Uber know that's the only thing that's going to save them. That's another company that's going to go down the toilet and vanish in a couple of years if they don't get their shit together.
Valuations are just through the roof. Yeah. It's insane.
And they've never made money. They're losing money. They're hemorrhaging cash, right? How do you hemorrhage cash when you're number one in the business and your model is...
man.
Like a software-based, wow.
you gotta pay those lobbyists something,
right. Anyway, so they know the only future for Uber is to get the drivers out of the loop.
Got it.
Right. So they that's why they're betting the farm.
So tell me more about the LiDAR, because I will make a call back to the so when Clifford Wolf was on the show. Back in whenever the hell that was, he used to work on LiDAR, and he said that it's very unlikely that LiDAR will be the technology that enables self-driving cars because of interference from one car to the next. And obviously that's not the scenario, but I just think that's relevant, and
I think that is, I would probably have to agree with that. Like, you can't have a spinning laser on the roof of every single car driving on the road.
They'd have to communicate with one another. They'd have to...
It'd be insane, everyone would have to be individually unique pulse coded.
Right, you have to, frequency hop or something weird, right?
Right. So they don't interfere. And then even then, the sensors are still going to get swamped with the other stuff. Yes, you can discriminate, but then your update rate's probably going to drop.
Exactly.
Right? From 50 maps per second down to 5 maps per second, and then bang, you're going to smash, you're going to drive into someone, right?
Right.
Because your update rate wasn't quick enough to process.
Well, that's the other thing that's interesting about the laser stuff too. Like, you don't really operate in the like, you can do PWM with a laser, right? But you can't, and you can, frequency modulate in that way, but you can't modulate. I guess you could change the light frequency, like by changing the.
Well, no, you would have to. I would presume you'd have to encode it. You would have to put a digital, a unique encrypted code in there that matches your car, so that the receiver knows if that code doesn't come through. Oh, that light is not from my.
Right, but that encoding is still from turning on and off. Right?
on and off the laser.
Very I'm saying that in
there's no other
in
as far as I
RF,
know, there's no other.
You're shifting around, which in this case would be the equivalent of shifting the color of the light, right, to actually change the frequency.
You would have to do that because you can't do amplitude modulation. Like that's just that's just stupid. That's not going to work, right?
I mean,
because
that is
because you get
modulation
amplitude modulation of surface, just the reflection off the surface as the surface moves is going to amplitude modulate your.
That is the method, huh? Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I totally agree that that's probably not the solution. But hey, that's what they got. That's why I believe the Google autonomous cars are moving to a completely optical camera based system.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they're moving away from they started out with this and they probably realized this isn't going to scale.
Yeah. I guess there's just interference. Stuff. There's always interference events, though, right? I mean, so you think about I guess I'm thinking about it in terms of like communication methods and stuff like that, there's always retries and stuff like that. And I guess with a LiDAR, a rotating type sensor, you get like another go around, right? You get another, another rotation.
You get so many updates per second. Yeah.
Sure. But if you had say you had like a blinding light source in that frequency range, wouldn't that be pretty detrimental to all the cars in an area?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure they have various, filters to filter out just that frequency, just that light frequency. But yeah, they can get swamped.
Yeah.
And then you'll get people just shining torches at cars for the, just to, kids, playing, hey, let's shining a laser pointer at a helicopter, just for let's stand on the overpass bridge and turn on a floodlight.
Kids are stupid. That's true.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I will say if there are people out there listening who are experts in this area, we'd love to talk to you. I mean, that'd be great. Ask that you have some bona fides, but if you're if you're in this space, I will actually make another call back to Tom Laments as well, who's a past guest. He's in the car space. That was a long time ago, and that must have been in the hundreds.
Yeah, I remember. Jeez, hundreds of episodes ago.
But I talked to him recently, and he's still doing car stuff. So,
cool.
Not sure if he can talk to us about it, but that's
anyway. I'm still at they've been saying, in a couple of years it's going to replace cars. Bullshit. It's not even going to be a decade.
No. You and I have talked about that too, right? And you said that, right? Because I said that I thought Sagan wouldn't be driving, right? If he was going to drive a car.
Sagan will be driving an electric car, I believe. Right,
I
think they will
too. Yeah.
Right, probably.
Hopefully,
right. Yeah. I can see that happening, but no, a fully autonomous car not going to happen. Not going to happen. By the time Sagan drives, right, which is let's say another 10 years, right? 10, 11, 12 years, right? It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
That's unfortunately true. I mean,
and it was not going to happen before this Uber thing. Right now, after this, everyone, some people have to sign off on this, right? Can you imagine you're a politician and you're going to sign off? Yeah, I'm going to allow autonomous cars on the road. It's your ass on the line.
Sure.
It's like if someone died.
Okay, so again, the thing that always comes up, and I always think about is this is obviously a tragedy. It's always a tragedy.
Yep.
But until I don't even know how it's going to translate, right? Until accidents are proven over and over again that it's not the car's fault, right? Which is not the case here, right? Then until we get into that space where it's we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was not the car's fault, that this was just an incident, and yes, someone still died. Until we're in that space,
that is the thing. That is the point that all the critics of my point of view say, and all the pro autonomous cars, but they say, do you know how many accidents there are of regular cars? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Right. Of humans going fail.
Right. But no, the onus of responsibility is on these car makers for sure. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
We expect we as humans who drive on the road expect other humans to make mistakes, and that's a price that we're willing to accept, right?
Sure, there's not really a choice at that point, right?
There's laws, right? That's why we have registration and training.
Things going 100 kilometers an hour are going to cause other things to die.
That's right. But we expect, but that's why it doesn't make the news when there's a car crash.
Right.
Yes. Is because we kind of accept that because we're human, but we expect our technology to be better than us, and like it or not, that's what we expect. So we expect these autonomous cars not to make mistakes. And when they do, it's a big deal. And that's why this Uber accident is such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And
right,
and you can say,
it will, it will
people,
continue to be until they can prove that it's not the car's fault. And at some point, I think that there will be scenarios where the car does everything that is programmed to do. It was the right move. They're going to prove that, and they're going to be like, well, there was still a fatality, which is like shitty.
Right? No, of course, yeah, of course,
right,
yeah. But no, if these things are implemented on a mass scale, it's going to be carnage.
Anyway. It shakes my confidence a little bit. I would get into one, but I'd be like, can we go on a test track?
yeah, exactly. And so that's why I think like autonomous cars will happen,
right?
But it's decades away, decades, not years.
Well, I have no.
People are full of
no
it.
measure.
Yeah.
You know me and future predictions. You know me and future predictions, Dave.
Yeah. Chip printer. Have we got that yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Not even bloody close,
Not
as
even
I
bloody
call it.
close.
It won't even be another 20 years before we get it. It's bullshit.
Right.
All right. Come on.
Okie dokie.
Jeez. Anyway. I can't believe you're not willing to use your engineering judgment. Dear. Anyway, yep.
What else is on there?
What else we got?
We have some more. Well, there's other 3H meetups. I know that this doesn't really affect you because you don't do meetups, but there are now 4. There are 4 3H meetups in the U.S. So
remind people what 3H means.
Hardware happy hour. It's where you show up, you drink beer or not, and you talk about hardware. Very simple format. Does not require any outsized socialization. It's basically show up, nerd out, and yeah. And
are you supposed to bring stuff?
Of course. It's like requisite. Right. Yeah, you have to.
Right.
Like we talk about all the time.
Yep. Is that a requirement?
It's not a requirement.
No, you're not going to require it. Are there like 2 big nerds at the door going, right, you ain't coming in, buddy?
Right, exactly. Yep, you're not on the list. Right. Yeah, but there's 4 cities now: Austin, Houston, Seattle, and Chicago. If other people are interested in starting one, please give me a shout. I'd love to talk to you. Basically, the way it works is I just set it up on Meetup, and then
you'll be rich.
You do everything else.
You're in the franchise business.
Oh yeah, franchising those free meetups, nothing like it.
Got to be a way to monetize it. Come on.
Yeah. What you do is you sell the merch, Dave. You sell the merch.
Right, sell the merch.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Which I don't know if we've mentioned surely that we have T-shirts for sale again.
Probably not. I don't recall.
Okay.
We mentioned not on the show.
Okay.
But yeah, we're using a new mob.
Yep, Printful.
Printful. That's it.
Yeah, you can get T-shirts. You can actually get the Weidler poster. And T-shirts fund the show. Weidler poster funds a STEM charity, TBD. And basically you can buy various amp hour paraphernalia if you'd like it. So we'll put some links down in the comments below. Do you have your shirt, Dave?
I got my own shirt. I didn't get an amp hour shirt. I'll order one because I've only got.
You're running low?
I've got 2. I've got one of the old ones. Okay. I got one of the old bone-coloured ones, and I've got a black one.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. The old bone. I liked that.
Okay.
That was
Maybe we could make
really
another one.
Good.
Yeah. Actually, I posted a picture of our... Did you see that tweet about the various old prototype logos?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
That was excellent.
Fun. So,
yeah.
Our wonderful artist, Rachel.
I can remember when we first got that. You were so excited. You got it back and you sent them all to me and go, which one? And secretly you had already picked one because it was so obvious, and I picked the same one.
Yeah.
And went, yeah. That's it.
That's the way. That's the way to find consensus. Is you load the deck.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. What else on the list? Anything else?
Nah.
Not really. Nah. Dumpster hacking. You did. Did you keep return Clippy? If that's a...
someone put my dentist thing on the list, did they?
Was it me? Where was that?
Oh
yeah, it was me. Yeah, because that was gross, man. Every time you put you put gross stuff on your channels.
You're just a wimp.
I totally am a wimp. Yeah, I don't like big open cities, and I don't like medical or human stuff.
How do you survive in this world? I mean,
I'm a sheltered person, Dave. I live in my little nerd cave here, and I only emerge.
And you're too scared to go in an autonomous car.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out there. I'm not living. Yeah.
If you're not living life on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
What's that from? That's from a movie. That's got to be from a movie, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it's just a quote of mine.
Okay. Let's see. There's a couple
So you
tours.
didn't watch my surgery video. You didn't
No.
watch my knee surgery video.
No, that's what I was talking about. The initial, yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with the dentist? So you see him come in with a big syringe and stick a needle in my thing, and it'll get the drill. Zzz,
Yep.
and really,
Yeah.
it's like it's nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Unbelievable.
Let's see. So there was Mick had a good MQTT based panel video. That's a good one. I'm just kind of gonna run through the links here, and I guess this is what I could probably do with that link video, huh? Or that link newsletter thing.
People will get them in the newsletter.
Yes.
Yep. Historic Intel photos. Oh,
Yes.
you know I like
Yes.
history.
Yep. So we'll have all these in the thing. I actually really like the prepared interview with Danielle from Bantam Tools, formerly Other Mill. That was a really good interview. What else? Oh, a SoftBank might sell ARM. I guess that's a piece of thing. We'll see. That's just a rumor. But
just a rumor. Yeah. I mean, that was big when they bought them. It's like because the guy who owns, can't remember his name. Is he a Japanese guy who owns SoftBank?
It's a big investment group. So it's
they're huge.
But they also
huge.
invested in Uber too. So that's the reason. Right. So
they're gonna lose their coin there.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, I guess the rest people can just go and sign up for our newsletter. So that's a good one.
Groovy. That's it. We're on time for a change.
Yeah, we did it. Cool, man.
We had to dump for people who we're back on Mumble again.
They don't care about that.
They don't care about the technical details of recording our show.
No, definitely. Oh God, no.
Oh, okay.
In the survey, they're all like, just talk about electronics. That's all we care about.
Right. Yep.
We did though today. Like at the beginning,
we talked about it, and then we got into autonomous cars.
We totally talked about electronics today. So like more of that in the future. Probably. All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Catch you next time.